This is when and why the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to die. But to understand why Marvel is going to die, we first have to understand why it got big in the first place. And it's because it was the only good superhero universe. And DC wasn't really a competitor at the time because their movies weren't really interconnected, and the ones that were animated movies, which just didn't do as well. So the Avengers and the MCU kind of had a bit of a monopoly on the superhero universes. And another thing is that the films were just good. Like, they were just good movies. Like, to make a movie go big, you have to make it good. Shocker, I know. And even if there were some bad movies in the mix, it was okay because you knew that they were going to lead into something that was cool and big. And then we go to Infinity War and Endgame. Now I know I skipped like a good 5 years there in between Avengers and Infinity War and Endgame, actually a little bit longer. But the point is that it maintained that same, all these little movies building up into one big thing was really cool. And then they have Infinity War and Endgame. Now these movies were both absolutely incredible, could not have done them better, but they could have done the marketing a little bit better because they were like, this is the big climax of the MCU, nothing's ever going to top this, this is the best, this is kind of like the end game, literally, in the title. And that was kind of a problem because it starts to lead viewers in the wrong direction that these were going to be the final good big team up movies with all the Avengers in them. Just to prove my theory from earlier, you have to have a good build up with several movies explaining the characters' origin stories for it to be a good team up movie. Otherwise, you're going to end up with something like Eternals, where they try to explain every character's backstory in less than 5 seconds, and then there's nothing in between that and then the big bad final boss fight. And Marvel's still got those bad, sort of similar to back in the old days when we had Iron Man 2 projects. Like, they're still releasing bad films, and now they feel even worse because you know they're not going to lead up to anything big. And they didn't announce Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars for years until after Infinity War and Endgame came out. So people watch bad movies like Black Widow, Eternals, and more, thinking that it wasn't even going to lead up to anything. So it's kind of like, what's the point? Why are we still watching this? And that drove some viewers away. And then whenever they finally did announce Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, they announced it 3 years before the films were going to come out. Now 4 years, actually. But at the time, it was 3 years. So it's like, why would you do that? Why would you not just wait to promote it until later? Because now we're going to have to wait another 3 years for another good Marvel movie, is basically what they're saying to us. And if Marvel keeps making mistakes like that, I truly believe that eventually nobody will care about the MCU. And if you think I'm being over dramatic, then just go ahead and take a look at Ant-Man 3's box office. Ant-Man 3 might be the lowest grossing Marvel movie since something in Phase 1. If they can't beat what they did 10 years ago, then there's definitely some sort of problem. That is why it is my belief that after the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, the Marvel Cinematic Universe will stop rocking every single box office. But yeah, those are just my thoughts. Obviously, this isn't going to kill the Marvel Universe immediately, but I believe that over time it will just decline and decline even further to the point where the Marvel Cinematic Universe will be basically irrelevant. So if you guys did enjoy this video, then make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.